Welcome ASES students, it's Miss MaLee, and today we're going to be talking about subtraction. We're going to be talking about how you regroup when you are subtracting 3-digit numbers so that you will figure out how to do that on your own. So let's grab a piece of paper and a pencil and let's get started. Alright, so right now we're going to be talking about the formatting that you use to subtract numbers. So let's first get our numbers, which is 305 minus 248. Now, you don't just want to leave it there. So what we're going to do next is we're going to divide up all the place values, and you want to label it hundreds, tens, and ones. Now, the next step to do is to put boxes for regrouping. So let's put boxes right here. And now we can get started on subtracting. So you always want to use this format when subtracting these numbers because it makes it a lot easier for you to organize your problem and to get the right answer easier. Alright, so you see how we have the problem 305 minus 248. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to subtract 248 from 305. So the first step in you doing subtraction, you always want to start on the one side. So you're trying to subtract 8 from 5. But can you do that? No, because 5 is not a big enough number for 8 to subtract from. So what do? You have to regroup. So when you regroup, you want to borrow from your neighbor. But look at here. You see how there's a 0 and a 4 right here? You cannot borrow from here because there's nothing to borrow from. So what do you have to do next? You borrow from the hundred side. But wait, here's the catch. You have to regroup 0 first in order to regroup 5. So how do we do that? We cross these out. This is no longer a 3, it becomes a 2 because we're handing over a 10 to the 10 side, and this is no longer 0, it becomes 9. All right, so we already have that regrouped. Now we can regroup the one section. So we're borrowing a 10 to the ones, making this 15. All right, so we've done all of our regrouping. Now we have 15 and 8. So 15 minus 8 is 7, and 9 minus 4 equals 5. And since we regrouped here and there's no longer a 3, what's 2 minus 2? It's 0. So you can either write it with a 0 or you can just leave it blank. And there's your answer. It is 57 and you're done. See, this one was a little tricky because you had to regroup 3 times. But with a lot of practice, you'll be able to get it right too. All right, how about we try an easier one? So let's do 425 minus 318. All right, remember how you want to structure your subtraction problem. You always want to divide, label the hundreds, tens, ones, draw your boxes for regrouping. All right, now let's get started. Now once again, we have another 5 and an 8. We cannot subtract 8 from 5 because 5 is not big enough. So what do? You have to borrow from your neighbor. Now in this problem, we can subtract 1 from 2. So we can take a 10 from this side and give it over to the one side, making this 15 and making this 1. So now we can subtract 15 and 8, and that makes 7. Now you're done with the one side. Now let's move on to the tens. Now looking here, since we gave a 10 over to the one side and make this 1, then all you have to do is subtract 1 from 1, and that equals 0. And you are done with the tens section. Now let's move over to the hundreds. Now you have 4 and 3, and you can take away 3 from 4 because it's big enough. So what's 4 minus 3? That is a 1. Altogether, 107 is the answer. All right, so let's regroup for a second. Now, subtracting numbers can be really difficult, but if we just put our minds to it, we can do it. Remember to regroup, and always remember to organize your problems by dividing up the numbers, labeling hundreds, tens, ones, or even thousands, and always putting up boxes to use to regroup. Doing that will make it easier for you to solve the problem, and it'll help you organize it as well. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know that I really enjoyed making this. I hope that you all learned something from this video as well. And that will be it for me today. I hope you all have a good day. Thank you.